Okay, good morning, everyone. Wednesday morning, and we're going to go through the 24 movement simplified Tai Chi form. It's a Yang style Tai Chi form that I've been doing for the last 3 months, and we're going to go through it as usual with warm-ups, and then we'll go through some of the postures, and then see if we can get through that form. So if you have any questions, you can send us a chat and say there's a section in the form that it's not clear. We can review that and get you going. All right, ready? Hands up. Just a few waist turns. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that's because we want to bring our hands back on each side. So we have to turn the body a bit. So get used to twisting. All right, let's go to the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. So when we stretch, we don't have to really rush or force the movement. Just gently get into the position and let it happen. Okay, hands up here. Release, let go of the tension. Release, go down, turn to your right, turn to your left. Center, inhale, exhale. Okay, hands up again. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. To your right. 2, 3. To your left. 2, 3. Center, inhale, exhale. Okay, let's do it one more time. Hands up. Reach down, and each time you go a little bit lower, release, let go of the tension in the back of the legs. Then you turn to the right, and then you turn to the left. Get back to center, and lift up. Inhale, exhale. Okay, hands on your waist. Feel circular movements. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and stop. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Center cross, knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Center. Hands on your waist. Okay, neck turning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Center. Tilt to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Center, down, rotating. 1, 2, 3. Reverse. 1, 2, 3. Hands up. Pull in, inhale. Exhale. Hands up, inhale. Exhale. Hands up, inhale, breathe through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Okay, spread your feet. Turn your shoulders again. 2, relax the shoulders. Relax the arms. Let them swing around. Wrap your body. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Okay, stretch it out. We need this for the downward postures or some of the kicks to get the body acclimated to doing some of those far-reaching movements. So you have to expand the legs to get them limbered up, and you want your hips to kind of open up. So, that's a big advantage if you're trying to go into those downward postures, to get the hips to open and get the muscles to relax. And we switch, straighten the front knee. Switch. 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 Center. Squat down. Switch. Switch. So the important thing is try to sit into this leg and close this joint. The problem is a lot of times you don't relax enough to sit into this joint. What ends up happening is you will compromise the position, and that's where there's going to be some discomfort in the knee. If you have a knee problem, that's something else. If you have the knee problem before you do this, it might be something that you shouldn't be doing. But if you don't have a knee problem, finding the position is really more of figuring out how to do this as a downward posture, because a lot of times it's really releasing the tension and allowing your position to fold. So if you squat down, and you squat down in a position, whether it's like this or with your heels down, your knees can actually fold. But if you go halfway and then you start to move, that's where you put the stress on the joints. It's true that once the joint isn't completely closed, there isn't any stability. So if the knee is here, it's very susceptible to being torqued this way or this way. So that's where most of the knee injuries come from, when the knee kind of is stressed laterally like this. It happens with football players. It happens with any type of sport where you're very active and you get jostled to one direction while the leg is straight. That's where you get the lateral forces, entering the sides of your knees, and you can either, injure the knee from the meniscus. The connective tissue can get, strain. That's actually what happens. You sprain your knee, or you can tear something. So going into those positions, you have to really be careful. Um, First, find the position and work off of that, or stretch into it. And we've used the chair several times to kind of show you how to get into that. So anyways, that's something you have to be aware of. And the downward posture is, some of it is strength, some of it is flexibility. So you have to have both strength and flexibility to get into those positions. All right, hands up again, deep breathing. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, now we're going to kind of work the hands, the wrists, the forearms. Get a little stretch going here. Just do it a couple of 3 times. And so that's kind of stretching your wrists so that you release that tension, and then you kind of fold it the other way. So stretching is just getting those muscles to relax. And you cross your fingers, and you kind of press down here, lift it up, bring it to the front, bring it down, bring it up. So you're stretching your finger joints, well, at least this area. I mean, you can take any one of these fingers and do that to stretch it. So, stretching is just getting the muscles that are tied to the tendons and ligaments to release and give you some range of motion. Okay? Now when we're here and we're down here, you can invert the hand and stretch like this and stretch like this, just to give you a bit of flexibility. So you can feel your hands feel much looser. Okay? So really, releasing tension is the key to Tai Chi's benefits, is getting rid of that excess. The excess tension, we try to relax. So when we relax, it's really deleting this excessive tension in the joints. You release the tension in the joints, you have to let go of the muscle. The muscle has to release. Okay? So that's, one of the key things to doing good movement is get rid of the tension so that the movement can be actually created, because it's a motor skill. And even in the back, when we turn, if you get rid of the tension, then your body's tendency is to become more flexible and open. So stretching is just one approach to getting the muscles to relax. Movement is just as important, because if you're moving, you really can't be in a state of tension, because that would be a conflict. Okay, next we're going to work with some of the hip joints, or we didn't do the shoulders. We do the shoulders usually like this in the other class. But there's other ways of working your shoulders. As long as you're getting range of motion in the shoulders, you're going to have some flexibility. Now, you can't do this if there's tension, so be careful not to overextend your legs, your arms. So here, we're working this. There's your hip. This is a rotary motion. This is a rotary motion. Just letting it loosen up. So it does take a little control. You're turning your hips. You're turning your hips. Just open it up. Allow your hips to open. And that's something that we don't do a lot, mainly because if you're a ballerina or you do ballet, you may stand in this kind of position. But other than that, how many people actually do that? But that's actually a motion. Your hips should actually do that. You will use that action actually when you drive. When you go from the brake to the gas pedal, your foot does do that. So that is, but that's not a huge range of motion there, because it's just a small maneuver. But when we do this, we're really trying to increase that range of motion so that we're in this stance and we turn out and we step through, we can actually have that action. Because the turning out of the hips is actually what is utilizing the musculature that does that. So that's why footwork in Tai Chi is so unique in a sense, and then it's also beneficial in improving balance, stability, strengthening the legs in a different way that you would think. It's really gets stronger and more endurance from bearing weight. Because when we shift and we shift from side to side or from forward to back, that weight-bearing part of the exercise is what's beneficial. You work your legs differently from just standing. It's differently, because if you're just standing, one of the things you would notice if you're working in the kitchen, or you do a lot of things standing at a table, or you're maybe working even as a chef, you stand all day long, your legs get kind of tight and stiff, and actually your knees could get sore because you're always in that position and you're carrying weight, but it's a different kind. It's not as mobile as what we're doing. So let's get into the form. So we're in a position like this, and here's where our hips open up, flaring out. When our feet are square like this, and we kick the heel out or pivot on the heel, that's closing. So this is opening and closing. That's something that happens when we have to make a turn, when we have to head in a direction. So that's one of the things that I teach to people in the Parkinson's class, that we need to learn to pivot and move, to shift weight and go in directions, because that's the same concept as steering your car in a direction. Your feet are like the tires, and you're moving in a direction. It's going to take you there. So when we do the form, the mapping of the form is like the road work. So when we go through the form, if you pivot your feet correctly, you're going to go into the correct direction. And it is directional because you have the front, you have the sides, and you have the corners. All right, so when we're here, all right, when I bend my knees and I turn into that corner and hold the ball, I step out. Remember last time I talked about moving your foot in an arc over like this till your body is forward. So this is part the horse's mane. We shift the weight, carry your weight, open the stance, and it does take some strength to do this, because the tendency is to want to do this because your leg is not strong enough to carry the load and actually make that maneuver. And why is that different from, say, doing a squat or using a machine that does squats? What do you think is the main difference between sustaining your position and then moving into your position? The main difference is if you're doing squats, the muscles are stable and it's single directional. When you're in a position like this and you step out, the muscles actually are adjusting to the rotation of that movement, and also they have to compensate for the different strength and weakness. So there's some relaxation and some contractions going on in the leg that allow that to happen. That's the weak link in the legs. If you don't strengthen the movement, and the only way to develop that strength is called specificity of training. So if I want to move from here to here, my leg has to accommodate that motion. So if I don't accommodate that motion and it doesn't build the strength, then you're always going to be unstable going through this position. So that's where the stability comes from. And you come up to a position. Now we're going forward, and then when we sit back, we have this relationship. So that's the Tai Chi leg work. When you step through, this actually has to move. And if you put your hand on your thigh and you feel yourself twisting and twisting, those muscles are doing this. And you can feel those muscles working, and it's supporting weight. So you can imagine the tremendous strength that you'd build in the legs. Now, it's completely different from anything you're going to be doing with a machine or in a gym, because those limit the multi-directional things that happen. And you know what really happens when you're doing the Tai Chi is that your sensory system really is working with that to create that motion. So the long-term practice will give you the strength and flexibility you need actually to do the leg work. And that happens whether it's 24 Tai Chi paradigm, it happens in everything that we do. So leg work is a key and it's essential to better Tai Chi movement. So once we're in this part the horse's main position and we shift the weight, we touch down with the toe and we shift to the heel and then we end up like this. This is stork flaps wings, and then we step up and then we begin this movement, which is brush knee. We toe out, twist out, find this position, and then execute. This right and left brush knee. Now, we do this pause in the position for training. You find this position and you move. You find this position and then you move. You find this position and you step and brush. You find this position. So the legs are the same as this. This is setting up for the brush knee. So the leg work is consistent. This is your brush knee movement. Now when I practice this just upper body, I'm going to the corners. I'm not turning to the front because you're not getting enough twist in the back. So what you do is you turn to the corner and you turn to the corner. So that actually trains your body to find the corner positions because proprioception is muscle memory, and muscle memory is really joint angle position. So when we're doing this, we're going to that corner. And this is actually how the brush knee movement is created. It's taking you into that direction because relative position, if I'm here and I go like this, now I'm in the front. But I came off this twisted position. So this twisted position and that twisted and this twisted position become similar in its characteristic, but it's also using the correct muscle groups to create that final position. So that's brush, knee, and push. Once you get the brush, knee, and push, you have the same footwork that takes you like this. You see, when you step up and you toe down like this and you switch, that allows you to move. So every time you bring your heel down, you're carrying the load and it allows the front foot to move. So that's strum the loot. Okay. So from the brush knee position, and we take a half step forward, it's going to take us to this position, and we reset to this. Now when you're in a strum the loot position, you're not square. This is square, this is angular. Chest is pointing 45 degrees. Okay. Now the hand is like this. That's a neutral position, elbow down, as strum the loot as a position. You're relaxed, sitting in the back leg. Now we're going to go like this. When we go like this, that takes us to the back corner. So we go and turn toward the back corner, fold the elbow toward the ears, and then switch to the opposite side. So when the hand is folding, you're like this. We go, this is repulse the monkey. So repulse the monkey is stepping back. It's retreat and repulse the monkey. It's done 4 times. On the 4th one, you pause. Okay. If I go like this, it's like palm strikes face. That's palm strikes face. But I'm here because I'm going to hold the ball. And then I'm going to step up and I'm going to ward off, roll back, press, and push. Now these movements are driven from the legs. All right. In fact, everything that you do, you should drive the movement from the legs. Brush knee, right side push. Right side because the right side is forward. There's your right. There's your push. Here's your ward off. Here's your roll back. Like this. Palm down, up, palm down, press. Forward. Back. Forward. Back. Turn. If I hold the ball, I can do the left side. Left foot forward, ward off, roll back, push, and there you are. Press and push. So you notice one of the things that happens is you have to relax your hip and you sit into the stance. The other thing, in order to sit in your stance to have the vertical tailbone position, you have to relax your ankle. Now, most people, the ankle's fairly tight because a lot of times people walk on their toes or they're just training to walk without actually relaxing the heel. So without relaxing the heel and the ankle, you can't actually descend as freely. So that tension in the ankle is caused by tension in the calves and in the shin area because the muscles are not releasing. Because they don't release, it's very hard to sink into the stance because the ankles don't give. And ankles don't give because of a number of reasons. One of the reasons is we wear shoes. And shoes with large heels, or in the case of women, they might wear higher heels. You're walking on your toes. So if you walk like that for decades, your Achilles is going to feel, it's going to shorten. It's going to stay in this shortened, contracted stage because your calves are contracting and pulling you up. So when we do this exercise, we're actually doing a toe raise, but then we'll release and we go up and then we release. So eventually you have this balance. If you're only doing toe raises, then your calf will shorten because it has to do that. It has to shorten and release, shorten and release. It's the releasing side that gets compromised because we wear shoes. So that's something. Okay. So then, after we do that, we have a single whip position, and this is single whip. Okay, that's your position. It could be deeper. It could be shallower. It depends on, your strength and flexibility, but this is single whip. Okay. Your arm is straight like this. Your palm is out like this. So it's like a push. This is a hook. It's in the 45-degree corner, and this is directly in front of you where the nose, the hand, and the knee are lined up, okay? And you're forward weighted, and your body's as vertical as possible. Okay, then we turn, and the feet end up square. So when we turn like this, then we have this movement. This is cloud hands. Okay, so this is cloud hands. The hand is horizontal. It's horizontal. It's horizontal. A little bit different from angular positions like this. We do the hand movements, the cloud hands more like this in the Wu style. Here we do the more horizontal transition, and the feet don't twist. So we actually move softly and gently to the sides like this. Okay? And then as we transition across, we usually do 6 hand movements or 3 sets, and you go back into single whip. Okay. So to get into single whip, you're actually finishing grasp the sparrow's tail. So when you pivot like this, you end up here. And you do your first movement and your second movement, turn to the hook wrist, and then you're going to check, step out. So that's how we get into single whip. And then we pivot on this foot to take us back into the square position to do a set of cloud hands. So we see that. So we push, turn, extend, hook, open, single whip, turn. Now we're here. The hands do the same setup as when we're here. So you see, the movements are identical. We add the feet, and then we're here. And we do this again, which is the same setup as we had after the leopard and tiger springs to mountain. So with hands go like this. 1, 2, right? So that's 1, 2, 3 for single whip. Then we do a set of cloud hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Now we're here. The next thing that happens is this. So let me shift over here a second. Fold, palm strikes face, and then we do the 2 kicks. Okay, so the 2 kicks really go to the corners. So the first hand movement, and you step to the corner, and you aim the knee to this corner, we do a heel kick. We have 2 punches to the ear. Then we make a 180-degree turn. See, here's that inward twist to get us to the opposite corner. And we're bringing the hands down, lift up, and we kick into that direction. And we hook the wrist just like we're going into the single whip, but we go to downward posture. And then we scoot up the leg, and we go to this position. Okay, so that's a bit of sequence that or a bit of posturing that we did as, exposure or actually learning those different postures. But I think we have to get through the form at least one time. So we're down to the last and final few minutes. So let's get through the form. So this is part the horse's mane 3 times. Stork flaps wings. Brush knee. 3 times. So we're just doing this for sequence because time is kind of at the essence here. So here, strum the lute. Okay, now we're going to go backwards to repulse the monkey. And it's done 4 times. There's some, little subtle adjustments and syncing, but those things you can pick up after you've learned the sequence. So this is grasp the sparrow's tail or ward off, roll back, press, and push. And remember, this is the left side because the left foot is forward. We're going to turn to hold the ball again, step out, ward off, roll back, press, and push. Then we're going to do this. We just worked on that. So once we do this, I just adjusted for the camera. Hook your wrist, single whip, and we're going to do a set of cloud hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hook your wrist, and we're here. Step up, fold the elbow, palm strikes face, go to the corner, make a big circle, cross the forearms, and we're lifting up to do a heel kick. And once we kick, we bring the hands down, 2 punches to the ear. So it's the height of your temple, the width of your head. Sit back, turn, scoot down, lift up, heel kick, hook your wrist, go down, scoot up the leg, golden cockcrow stands on one leg. Turn, we have 1 on each side. Step out, go up, hands down, lift up, step to the corner, hold the ball. Jade Lady work shuttle. hold the ball, same footwork, but you go into the corner. Jade lady work, shuttle. Half step behind, go to the back, fold the elbow, insert needle, cross the forearm, fan to the back, turn, drop your hands, back fist, parry and punch. So we step up and shoot the hand out. Leopard and tiger, springs to mountain. Okay, now we're going to sit back, turn toward the starting position, go forward, scoop up, flip the hands over, shoulder width, bend the knees, here, lift, and close. So that's the complete form, 24 simplified Tai Chi. Hands up, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So what I'm going to do next class is pick it up from after the cloud hands where we do the kicks to the end. So if you've been following this, we'll work on that section next so that way we don't always start at the beginning. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It's important to subscribe because that gives you the other tutorials. There's a lot of stuff on there. There's over 100, maybe there's over 200 videos. So you can view those. You can learn off of these videos and see which one you like, whether it's the Tai Chi paradigm or the 24 movement form. And there's so much content on it. You can select and choose what you want to do. So on that note, I'll see you next time, next Wednesday, and thanks for following.